This is Fourth Time Around, episode 6.
Here you go.
Hi again, everyone. This is Joe.
This is Lisa.
And hi, Lisa. We're off to a rousing start.
He says like he hasn't seen me all day.
Lisa, how are you?
Tell you what, Joe, I've had better days.
The day that we're recording this, it is an extremely snowy day in the suburbs of Chicago.
It took me 2 hours to get home. 2 hours and change to drive 15 miles.
Right.
That's an average of like 7 miles an hour.
That's a lot of NPR.
Yeah, heck yeah.
Is that what you were listening to? What were you listening to?
I listened to NPR. It was Marketplace, which is not my favorite show, just because the content doesn't interest me that much. And then they have this Canadian show from
Canada.
No, from 7 to 8. It is from Canada. I'll tell you what, they cover really funny stuff. I mean, this is just outside primetime radio.
Do they talk funny too?
Yeah.
They say a boot?
The lady has a standard Canadian accent.
So
which reminds me, I think British Columbia Canadians, like big city British Columbia Canadians, speak perfect English.
Meaning what?
Meaning that if you consider British people have a British accent and American people have an American accent, really Canadian English is pretty well perfect.
See, I've never had experience with anyone from that end of the country. My experience has always been with more East Coast Canadians.
And I don't know many East Coast Canadians, and I've never known any. When you get somebody from Canada who speaks really good English without a heavy Canadian accent,
mm-hmm.
they speak very well. Mm-hmm.
Give us an example. Do they have like a British accent?
No, they have a slight Canadian accent, and there are some they're more likely to say something like, well, I don't know about status instead of status, but they say Mazda funny. They say it Mazda.
Mazda.
Manfred used to say process instead of process.
That's what it was.
But no, not processes, but
Prozac.
we need to check the process.
Right.
Like no other accent involved. But I was trying to think of other Canadian diction, not just an accent, but
Alex Trebek is Canadian, Oh, I'm so sorry. I thought you would get that.
I was sure you would get that.
I would sure get isosceles triangle. Isosceles triangle. Yeah. We meet again, Trebek.
Joe's fondling this can of whipped cream like he's just dying to do something with it.
I was gonna do my imitation of whoever that chick was in the movie Hitch.
Okay, I'll do the voice. You do the sound effect.
Okay, go ahead.
You had me... Hello. Oh, sorry. You got to do the blowing the nose thing first.
Oh, okay.
Swallow, and then we'll try again.
Hey. We're going to keep that PG rating, that work-safe rating. Okay.
And if Joe gets through the whole can of whipped cream, he'll be that much happier.
Okay, you ready to try this again? I'm shaking up. Okay.
Wait till after I do the nose thing. You had me at hello. Our favorite little scene from Hitch, watching Jerry Maguire and eating a whipped cream out of a can.
Right.
The best way to recover from a ended romance.
That chick was really annoying, though. I found her so annoying.
In what way? Because she didn't take any crap from her man?
Well, yeah. Not to put too fine a point on it, but yeah. So anyway, where were we? We were in Canada a few minutes ago.
Canada. I don't know why I thought of that.
Alex Trebek.
Canadian diction. The radio, NPR, yeah.
Right. Okay, you were listening to NPR.
Well, anyway, I listened to NPR at 8 o'clock. They switched to jazz. Okay. And I couldn't listen to jazz in those circumstances.
That's not really a jazz. No. What you really need there is you need some good old-time radio, like maybe a little Chuck Schaden. Or books on tape.
So this Canadian show, it's being broadcast presumably all over Canada and even in the United States on practically primetime radio in one of the biggest NPR, possibly the biggest NPR market in the country. And they have a story about these Christmas trees that got stolen in, like, Nova Scotia. Seriously.
Oh, geez, they got stolen, eh? Oh, holy jeez. So we went up to, like,
you know what? How would you feel if Canadians said every American talks like, you know...
No, actually, you know what it is Saturday Night Live has gone a long way to ruin the way that people perceive, especially Chicagoans.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not bad-mouthing the stuff that Belushi and those guys did. I'm referring to the super fans and bear stuff.
That's right. That's right.
And I do know people who are like that.
But like your SCTV Canadians, it's wildly exaggerated.
Well, exactly.
And once in a while, you'll find somebody who's that bad.
Right. The super fans are like Bob and Doug McKenzie are in Canada. Oh, by the way, you know why Leonard Cohen never recorded a Christmas album?
Oh, he's Canadian.
Exactly. Lisa's a big Leonard Cohen fan.
But yeah, they were telling the story about this church youth group ordered 600 trees and like 200 got stolen. Well, when did you first realize they were stolen? Well, one of the people from our church was driving by the church parking lot and saw somebody putting the trees in a pickup truck. Have they caught the guy? No.
So, like, but...
Did church dude hop out of his car and throttle the guy stealing the Christmas trees?
Oh, geez, no. I was on my way over to the donut shop, eh? 6-pack of crullers.
Pretty much.
Jeez.
Somehow the police weren't notified for hours.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah, I saw somebody over there loading up some trees in the pickup truck about 5 o'clock this morning. Who was that? What? It was supposed to be about serious news.
Was that
not
like
meant to be funny?
Was that a lighter news item, or was that actually a legitimate news item?
I think it was one of those things like when your local NBC News covers a litter of kittens being born or something.
Right.
It was one of those things that you might consider an oddity, but also is, meant to just, I don't know, kind of look through a magnifying glass at one particular thing that's gone on, while acknowledging, that you couldn't cover everything that happens on that level, but here's something that happened.
The Christmas tree seemed to have bubbled up. So that's Canada.
At my workplace this year, we have a holiday tree.
No air quotes?
It's not a palm tree. It's not an oak tree. It's not a ficus. It's not a wispy aspen or a weeping willow.
Is it a pine of some sort?
It's an evergreen. It's fake, of course. It's a 6-foot evergreen.
Okay.
With a star on top and a skirt-like cloth underneath.
Landing strip?
Yes. And no presents, incidentally.
Well, now that's a statement.
And it has lights and ribbon and some architectural inspired ornaments. And it's the holiday tree.
Really now?
Yes, because we have people in our company who are Christian, those who are not religious in any particular way, those who are Jewish, and even a handful who are Muslim. Now, I don't know percentage-wise how many people in the area are Muslim, but I would say, for being in an office of 20 and I can think of 4 right offhand who were, I don't know if they're practicing Muslims, but they were born in Muslim nations and now are Americans or are living in America. Anyway, I don't know percentage-wise if that's high, but it seems to me to be a very diverse workforce.
Yeah.
Anyway, we have a holiday tree, and we're having a holiday party. I think it's great to have a holiday tree, because when I think Christmas, I don't necessarily think anything Christian in particular. Now, not to get too much into it, but I think really the purpose of Christmas, if everybody really were to search themselves and think about why they celebrate Christmas, I think a lot of people celebrate Christmas because it's the dead of winter, and we need an excuse to turn on multicolored lights in our houses and on our houses, and an excuse to get together in the middle of the winter and give each other presents. So, every culture has some sort of winter
Festivus.
Festivus, yeah. No, really, every culture has some sort of winter thing.
Right. I'm with you, but it's not the dead of winter because only a few weeks ago it was fall. And actually, technically, right now, it's still fall.
Solstice, Joe. That's why it's the 25th. It is the dead of winter, technically.
Well, no, it's the other half of the year begins.
An equinox, if you will.
You have a solstice and an equinox. You have a vernal equinox, a winter solstice.
So, if the 21st is the shortest day of the year, then psychologically that's the dead of winter.
Actually, you're right. But I think it has more to do with the fact that it's the end. First of all, mainly above and beyond any other reason, it's because it's a tradition that people have been doing for years.
The 25th of December?
Right.
Of course.
As your dad says, do it once. You're just doing it. Do it twice.
And it's a tradition.
Exactly.
Even if it was just just an accident that you did it twice.
Exactly. Remember we wound up at that Shell station over in Rensselaer?
For the second time in a row.
We're going to have to stop there again this year. Maybe they'll have that same brand of beef jerky this year.
Uh-huh.
Or whatever. But
tradition is like a disease
it's
in
a
the
big
Stevenson
thing.
household.
And I worked for a marketing company for a while, so I know that it's now part of the business cycle.
Yes, of
course. Christmas
course.
is a business cycle. And here's my plug for everyone to go out and download Stan Freberg's Green Christmas. Guaranteed. Put you in the mood right away.
The holiday tree and how people are shying away from saying Christmas.
In order to be PC.
In order to say, right. But think about it. I mean, I don't see the harm in that. You know, I mean, if I had to say what I'm celebrating, I would say Christmas. And I'm not afraid to send out cards that say Merry Christmas because I want people... I got this from Michael Medved. He's Jewish, and he tells all his listeners Merry Christmas in December. And I never listened to... I'm sure he has some speech about it. But you can wish somebody a Merry Christmas without believing in Christmas, can't you? I mean, can't you say Christmas is a day. Have fun on that day.
Right. Merry Christmas.
Anyway, I think it's great that we've melded our holidays into... Well, I guess, if I were a Christian in a Muslim society or a Jewish society, I would think it would be nice if the majority group there would say, oh, well, it's a holiday celebration. You don't have to think any particular thing to enjoy it. And I think Christmas functions on more than one level. I think for some people it is very spiritual, and that's great. But I think for other people...
Well, and it means different things to different people, too. I mean,
right.
For some people, it's time to get together with your family. It's time to, show people that you care about them. Whereas during the rest of the year, you might be flipping them off in the parking lot as you're pulling out of the 7-Eleven. Hey.
Right. Well, this guy in the
Arlington Heights Post
wrote a column about Christmas memories, and somebody wrote him a letter saying they admired him for having the guts to use the word Christmas and not say his holiday memories.
Along with our Speaker of the House, Denny Hastert, an Illinois native.
What's he up to?
He referred to... That's how this whole hoo-ha started, was because he said that the White House holiday tree is now the White House Christmas tree. And people are waving the flag, as it were, over the fact that he's calling it the Christmas tree. The one thing is, I don't know why it's a big deal. I don't know why Hastert is becoming... He's becoming a hero to some and evil to others because he's calling it a Christmas tree. And you know what? That's what it is. It's a Christmas tree. Yes, we're in the holiday season. So
how do you feel about people who aren't Christians, who are either some other religion or not religious at all, celebrating Christmas? Do they have any right to it?
Yeah, I don't think Christmas is really religious. You could make the argument that Christmas has basis in the birth of Jesus Christ. But then again, you can go
Hence
back.
The name.
But you can go back before the birth of Christ, and there are various winter celebrations that were happening around this time anyway. In fact, the history of the Christmas tree, and I should be more prepared for this, but the Christmas tree goes back predating Christian times because they would take a tree and they'd decorate it. It was in Germany, and they would just, I don't know if they'd chop down the tree and bring it in the house, but there was the tradition of the Tannenbaum, as it were.
Oh, well, right. It's all about, bringing the outdoors, bringing the life inside and
Right.
The evergreen being the thing that stays green through the...
But so that's what the winter celebration is about. And it's, if you want to call it Christmas and you celebrate Christmas, that's cool. If you want to call it whatever, to make, if you want to call it, toenail clipping day. Hey, happy toenail clipping or whatever. Shoebox.
Well, I want to say that it sounds like that maybe we're working with two different definitions of Christmas. One of Christmas as a secular holiday that anyone can celebrate, just like everybody celebrates New Year's, and one of a holiday with a deep religious tradition. I think if we would all define, I think we're all on the same page with this. I think if we would just define our terms, we would all find out that we're all okay. I don't think anybody needs to be offended by the use of the word Christmas.
So let's go and do
Cheap Date. So here we are.
This week we're at
Fuego in downtown Arlington Heights.
Exactly.
Brand new, just opened, a month ago?
Yep. Right in downtown Arlington Heights, in that ever-growing corner of Peggy's, Harry's, and now Fuego, and Regina's.
Which is only like 3 blocks from where I live.
So we went over to Fuego with Liz and Bob, who were not mentioned in the last 2 podcasts, and we apologize for that.
I think they were, and I think they got edited out.
Oh, that's entirely possible. They wound up on the cutting room floor, or in the bit bucket, or wherever things go when you run your podcast through Audacity and start cutting things out.
Liz and Bob would end up on the cutting room floor. Wow!
With big smiles on their faces because of all the margaritas. So we've tried this. We've been meaning to try this place out, and but anyway, so we went in there, and we were immediately. Well, we weren't immediately.
Well, we were told 30 minutes. It ended up being more like 10-15.
Right.
We got seated. Very, very busy. We were in there at 6 o'clock on a Sunday evening, and it was packed.
It was.
The service was, right from the get-go, the service was very friendly, but they were busy, and I think they were having trouble keeping up right at the beginning, which was fine with us. We got chips and salsa and margaritas.
Well, we were first thing we were at the bar, and we were going through the menu. First, the bartender was so busy because he was mixing drinks for everyone at the bar. It's got a huge bar. The bar is pretty big, and when the bartender finally came around to us, and we're going through the drink menu, he was explaining the different margaritas and what he thought were the better ones.
That's right.
And then as we were standing there deciding, just about to order, the host, or the manager, whoever he is, the maitre d', or whatever you would call that at a Mexican restaurant, came up and put his hand on my shoulder and said, "You're waiting for a table?" I said, "Yes." 4 of you? Yes.
Come with me.
Come with me. Yes. Come with me. So I reached out, I shook the bartender's hand and said, "Thank you for everything. Now we're going to go order our drinks." So we went and sat down, and very comfortable table. Our little waitress or server came up to us.
And she was little. Joe's not just saying that.
Yeah, she was little.
As a sexist remark.
Right. Her name was Angelina.
Angelina,
with
but
an
she
O.
spelled it, like
Angelina. And she said something right when we first sat down. She said something that cracked Lisa and Liz up entirely, which was?
She asked if we were ready to order, and we said, no, we haven't even looked. And she said, "Oh, that's great, marinade. I'll come back."
And that was very nice.
That's funny. My high school boyfriend used to say that.
What,
he used to
marinade?
use the word marinade as meaning think about it for a while.
Really?
Deflate.
So we had 4. We each had a different kind of margarita, and we sort of passed them around the table, and each one was just as awesome as the one before it.
I had Del Rey, which personally I thought was the best.
Right.
Grand Marnier, speaking of which. Oh, and Cointreau and tequila, very classic margarita, like an old-fashioned margarita.
Right.
Joe had Del Plaza, which was your typical, I don't want to say typical like in a bad way, but you're more the margarita you typically get at a Mexican restaurant.
It was right. It was a
their house margarita.
It was
I
a
guess.
serviceable margarita.
It was decent. Liz had Del Oro. I can't remember what was different about that. I think it had triple sec in it.
And it would have been gold. tequila.
And gold tequila. And I remember it being a little tangier than mine.
Right.
Mine was very sweet and smooth, I thought. And Bob had Del Guapo?
Oh, yeah. I think you're right. But I don't
And
remember
I don't remember what was different about
Did
his.
he have the one with the orange liqueur in it? The orange flavored tequila or the orange?
That's very possible. Wait, Triple Sec is orange, though, isn't
I
it?
don't know. Bob,
Grand
let us know.
Mariner's
We
kind
forgot.
Grand Marnier is kind of orange.
Orangey as well. That's true.
Well, anyway, all of them were very good. I could taste that they were all different, but aside from really liking mine, I couldn't tell you which one was best.
Right.
I think the thing to do is just not all in one night, but over the course of time, order each one and see which one you like best. The chips and salsa were great. The chips were standard, but
the chips were right. They were like your basic.
they weren't like homemade
Right.
chips. But the salsa was very, very good.
Yes. For the main course, you and Liz had the same thing, which was
We had seafood enchiladas.
right.
They call them something else in Espanol.
Mariscos.
But I think so. I wouldn't swear to that. I wouldn't tell you what to order on the menu, but it was the enchiladas with seafood or with shrimp and scallops. Now, typically, seafood enchiladas come with a creamy white sauce or a mild, slightly sour green sauce. These came with a spicy red sauce.
It was a smoky, spicy red sauce. It was very similar to the adobo sauce at Los Jardines.
Yes.
Only it was like sort of like that same sauce, only more so. It was
Yes.
heartier, I guess would be the word.
And yet not as spicy, I didn't think. Very good, very bold.
Was the seafood fresh? Did it taste fresh?
Yeah, I mean, it was shrimp and scallops, so, it's only going to be so fresh.
I had it was a skirt steak which was on a bed of salsa which included cactus, tomatoes,
Sauteed vegetables?
right, sauteed vegetables, almost like fajita style vegetables.
Mhm.
There were green peppers, red
Maybe
peppers,
grilled or roasted,
grilled,
not
yeah.
sauteed, I guess.
Right, no, they were roasted. And then there was, I'm trying to think, there was something. Oh, there was cheese on it. There was queso viejo or whatever they call it. No, añejo, queso añejo.
Right, old cheese.
Old cheese, and it was delicious. And the other thing that they do there, which is really cool, is they give you when they give you refried beans, they put it in a little like a little mini taco shell, like the kind you get when you get a salad, like a taco salad. So it's like a little bowl of fried beans on your plate.
It's yummy.
So, and it doesn't like encroach the property lines of, say, your rice or your meat. Now, what did Bob have?
The tilapia, I think.
Oh, that's right.
Which I didn't try, but I had my eye on that tilapia.
Right. And then for dessert, fried ice cream.
Fried ice cream.
But the atmosphere was great. The service was wonderful. They were very attentive. That same manager, he kept coming by. At one point, we were all sitting and we were looking back because we were trying to figure out where the kitchen was. And he happened to be standing back there, so he ran over to the table. He's like, "Can I get you something?" It's like, no. We were actually just wondering, where's the kitchen in this place? He says, "Oh, it's back there behind the back wall." And he had said that they wanted to have like a pass-through kitchen so that you could actually see it when you're a customer. But I guess they weren't allowed to do that or something. There was some reason.
Well,
they
I think
couldn't
the
do
way
it.
the space was configured, there was no way to do it.
Right. So, 2 more big thumbs up. Actually, 4 this time. Big thumbs up for Fuego. And the next time we go, we'll probably have something else. to
Oh,
review
I
for
do
them.
have one little frowny face.
Uh-oh.
Just a personal preference of mine. They have a beer chelada.
Oh yes.
It's beer with a little bit of lime and a salted glass. So I was expecting a salted glass, a glass of beer, and a squeeze of lime, like when you get a lime wedge in your Corona.
Right.
What I got instead was beer in a bottle, which is fine, Modelo, wonderful Mexican lager, I guess, and a salted beer glass with ice, a third of the way full of lime juice. So I poured my beer in, and I took a sip, and I started laughing because it was so tangy and salty. It was just
You referred
I
to
called it a beer garita. It
Right.
was really an interesting experience. Liz and Bob seemed to dig it, so I'm not gonna say they did a crummy job of it. It just personally it is not something I would just rather have a margarita or a plain beer. But I don't mean to gripe. Just the chelada. It's certainly a unique offering, and if it's something you dig, now there's a place you can get it. But I wasn't into it.
But it's 4 big thumbs up
4 thumbs up for Fuego.
for Fuego.
Cuatro
Go there.
thumbos.
Thumbos. We need Becky here to give her Becky Spanish version of that. Yes, and it's, as we said,
you could
it's
say
in...
Cuatro Estrellas.
That's right, Cuatro Estrellas. It's right downtown Arlington Heights. It's right next to Regina's.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, like I said, it's on the corner of
At
Vale.
the park by the fountain.
Right. At the park by the fountain.
You can't miss it.
You can't. Right. It's a big Adobe colored building. So that's our cheap date. Okay. So we don't have a whole lot of time left, but what else do we have that remains to be discussed?
You know what? Let's talk a little bit about your upcoming procedure.
That's true. Next time
you hear from us, Joe will have perfect 20/20 vision.
Or better, I've been told.
Well, now let's not get too ambitious. On Friday the 16th, Joe is going in to have LASIK surgery.
Yep, on both eyes.
We'll have... Of course, I don't know what Valium does. I know Joe gets a little funky when he takes Advil, so I imagine...
I do? I get funky when I take Advil?
You don't get funky, but I know that cold medicine makes you feel funny.
Cold medicine does. I don't like taking cold medicine. It does make me. I
didn't
feel
mean
funny.
I meant Advil cold and sinus when I said Advil. So if that makes you feel funny, I imagine Valium will hit you pretty hard.
Well, you saw what happened with Red Bull.
Oh, God.
Joe, Red Bull, 1 Buffalo Burger, a visit to Wall Drug, and 500 miles of road ahead of him.
I had to cut this guy off.
Glug, 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 glug. There goes the Red Bull. Suddenly, Joe, 10 p.m. at night, as we're in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Joe is suddenly a fireball of energy. Dum, 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 dum. Hey, we're going into Minnesota. Blum, 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 blum. Should I take that Starbucks double shot now?
That's the thing. It was a positive feedback loop already.
I know. Lisa's
he was
laying
high and he wanted to get higher.
Lisa was in her, much like Steve Martin in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, trying to sleep. No, just drive. Dude, I made it all the way through Minnesota on that 1 can of Red Bull.
That was
pretty good.
That was amazing.
It's even more amazing as Scooter the car made it through.
Yeah.
But you know what? So anyway,
we digress.
We digress. That's the procedure. So the next time you hear from us, you'll be hearing from when it's recorded, I won't have new eyeballs, but when it's released, I'll have new eyeballs.
You'll be hearing from 2 people with 20/20 vision.
That's right. So there you go.
I'm so excited for you.
I'm excited too.
Joe's been wearing eyeglasses for what, 50 years?
At least. I started wearing them during the Truman administration, I believe. And
I don't even know when that was. That could be true or not.
Now you know why on our podcast
the Johnson
page,
administration, right? When you started wearing glasses?
Now you know why on our podcast page it says, he lived through the era of skinny ties and the Clash, and she wishes she did.
It's true.
Actually, it was 1967 when I got my first pair of glasses, so that would have been the Johnson administration. The very tail end of the Johnson administration. The Nixon era was about to begin. Yes, ma'am.
All right.
So that's going to be it for 4th time around for this week. Hope you all enjoyed it. And
we did have some big topics, but maybe we'll get to them next week.
We will. This is a guy by the name of Daniel Link. He is from Texas. And the song that we're hearing, appropriately enough, is a song called Evergreen. Don't call it Christmas tree. Don't call it holiday. Call it Evergreen. You can reach Daniel at his website, which is daniellink.com. he refers to his influences as people as diverse as R.E.M., Fleetwood Mac, the Eagles, Tom Petty, Dan Fogelberg, Chris Isaak I saw in here on his biography. And anyway, you can listen to his songs. You'll definitely hear a real R.E.M.-ish feel to this song. It passed the Lisa bobbing the head test when I played it for her. So enjoy that. So that's Evergreen by Daniel Link. That's coming up right now. We downloaded it from the Podsafe Music Network at music.podshow.com. As always, thank you everyone for listening. And until next time, this is Joe.
This is Lisa.
Thanks for listening.
Good night.
Here you go.
To the Kiva, offered up my mask, drank from the Waco, and I made peace with my past.